welcome to episode 121 of the InGeneral podcast, the Jurassic Outpost podcast. My name is Caleb, and I am here with Samantha. How are you, Samantha?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you, Caleb?
I'm good, and I'm also joined by Jack. How's it going, sir?
It's going all right.
Awesome. Well, we are here to talk all things Jurassic, and thank you for listening to this episode. Just since the two of you weren't on the last episode of this podcast, Jurassic World Chaos Theory, I wanted to ask you both about that. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Tell me all.
I haven't watched it yet. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You should. You should.
I've heard great things, so I will watch it. But
did you like Camp Cretaceous? I forget.
I haven't finished it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's fair. Chaos Theory was a lot of fun, and I think almost like not a reimagining. It definitely continues the story of Camp Cretaceous, but it's different. It's tonally different. It's much more mature, and it feels like it really does coincide with Fallen Kingdom more. The more you think about it, the more it feels like a Fallen Kingdom, like direct sequel to that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is great because filling in that gap, filling in the Jurassic World era gap now between what happened in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion is a great way to continue that because we don't know what the new movie's doing. So, but yeah, no, Chaos Theory is good fun.
Yeah, I was saying that on the last podcast that it felt like more of a sequel to Fallen Kingdom than Dominion did. So I thought it was great. So
Interesting.
Yeah, Dominion.
So you enjoyed it, Jack?
I did. I thought it was great. We were obviously lucky enough to we were lucky with Camp Cretaceous to view the seasons early, and the same thing happened with Chaos Theory, which I worried it might not, but we were lucky to see it. And I hesitated going in. I was worried, even though the trailers looked fun. Camp Cretaceous definitely didn't end well. Seasons 4 and 5 just were terrible. But yeah, no, it was just excellent. As soon as it started, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is figuring something out." And by the end of the first episode, I knew that they had struck something that I think they had tried to strike earlier with Camp Cretaceous, but didn't quite manage, especially with the way seasons 4 and 5 ended up. I'm really curious how season 2. I'm curious how, as it progresses, how close and how it will align itself to what we see in Dominion as well. Whether we'll end up in a similar location, whether we'll see a scenario that happened in Dominion from, the kids' angle or something, because they did that a few times in Camp Cretaceous, and it was effective.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if depending on how much time the series covers, I wonder if we'll eventually get to where we're after the events of Dominion. So yeah.
Hopefully, it feels like they're speeding along, and it kind of feels like the goal is to do that. But it needed that setup, right? It needed to fill in what we didn't see between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion, and it's done it in such a great way. I think it's the very first episode where it starts with Darius is driving in this radio commentary by it's like talk radio, and it sounds like something you would hear in Grand Theft Auto, the comedy radio, but it's people just voicing their opinions on dinosaurs in our world, and something that, even though it was in the world movies, feels like the actual human element of it. Like, how is it directly affecting? I don't know. Chaos Theory just jumps straight in, gives you a bunch of one-liners that you're like, yeah, okay, I understand the world we're in. And it keeps doing that throughout. The compies on the road, you just see all these tiny elements of dinosaurs, literally like the scavenger dinosaurs just living in the world. I just think it handles the topic really well. Obviously with the kids as well, all having different experiences in different parts of America, kind of thing.
Yeah,
great fun.
No, I completely agree. And I'm from Texas, so I really enjoyed when they went to Texas and there were dinosaurs there. That was cool. Now, so Jack, when you were watching it early, you were like messaging me after every episode, like not spoiling anything at all, but you were just like, "This, what is this show? It's so good!" Like after every episode, you were like messaging me.
Scott Creamer. He got a lot of love. He's I think he obviously wrote and had a lot to do with the Camp Cretaceous, but I think he kind of solo did a lot on Chaos Theory and truly navigated the ship this time. Clearly understands the franchise. Every time we've spoken to him in interviews, he's had so much positive things to say about the original movies and then blending the two. And I think Chaos Theory is a perfect example of that, because it feels like it's, whether it's just me, because my brain is just seared at this point with the Lost World. I feel like Chaos Theory has so many Lost World references in it, and like loads of little nods to raptor behaviors that we saw in the Lost World were given to the atrocities on the mainland. And I think that was very cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's even a compy eating a roast beef sandwich, so that was perfect.
Yeah. Unintentional or not, they did it. They did a Lost World reference.
Yeah, that was honestly one of my favorite, like, little 5-second moments of the whole season was the compy, and then it just gets taken away by the Pteranodon.
Bunch of references in there as well. The like compies fighting over food, like the ride, Jurassic.
Yeah.
Ride at Universal.
Compies fighting over food like they did with Dieter in the Lost World.
Yeah. It's a great show. The ending was a bit bombastic. The whole, not to spoil anything, but the kind of explosion T-Rex moment.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's an element very Jurassic World era take, and it felt like it fit in. It was very much a climax of the first season, so it was fine. It's a cartoon at the end of the day. I do have to remind myself, it isn't a show for adults as much as Chaos Theory is a show that is gearing towards a much wider audience than Camp Cretaceous. They are still animated shows that are very much geared towards a younger audience. So whatever, it's a good show.
Yeah, right? I saw a a colleague in the film music world a couple weeks ago, and he watched Camp Cretaceous with his young kids who are like 7 and 11, I think. Mm-hmm. And they were younger when Camp Cretaceous was being released, but like when I saw him, he was like, "Yeah, we're watching Chaos Theory now," and I was like, "Oh, okay." I was honestly like a little bit surprised, because I feel like maybe Chaos Theory is for kids who are a little bit older than that. But like, and it was just funny because he didn't ask me this about Camp Cretaceous, but when it came to Chaos Theory, he was like, "We're like halfway through the season. Is there anything like really violent in the rest of the season that I need to warn them about, or like anything I need to know about?" And I was like, it's nice to hear that question. Like, and so I told, yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, I told him about a couple things, but he was like, "Oh," and one of the things I said, he was like, "Oh, we already saw that and it was fine." And I was like, "Okay." But yeah, so I mean, it's hitting a lot of demographics. It's making a lot of people happy. So
yeah, and it's definitely an example of it growing with its audience too. If Camp Cretaceous, when did Camp Cretaceous start? 2018,
2020.
2020. Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, still, it's matured 4 or 5 years with its audience, so it's done well.
Yeah, we got 5 seasons of Camp Cretaceous in 2 years. So, and then season 2 of Chaos Theory is coming later this year. So, yeah. And speaking of, and it'll be interesting to see maybe if Chaos Theory does go post-Dominion, if it somehow, if it does start to tell stories that are chronologically after Dominion, like if it's going to connect us to whatever is going to happen in Jurassic World 4. So, yeah.
What is going to happen in Jurassic World?
Yes, perfect segue. Thank you. what is going to happen in Jurassic World 4. We've gotten a lot of casting news lately. There's been a lot of set pictures from the set in Thailand. There's been a lot of rumors flying around. Yeah.
Filming began. Was it June 13th? No. Yes. Something
Yes,
like that.
I think that's right. Yeah.
June 13th. Production begins, or production in Thailand takes place June 13th, July 16th. So they're there for just over a month, and footage is obviously coming out now. If you're wanting to avoid it, then I guess don't listen to what we're going to say.
Spoilers.
Don't follow Real News Hawaii, but they've been a good source, as always, even though this film is not filming in Hawaii, we have so many pictures showing where it's filming, what's happening, and I guess should we run through them? Because in a way, they give us a little bit of an indication on what we're going to see when it comes to Jurassic World 4.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk about those set pictures.
Okay, so obviously the first one was shared by Jurassic Outpost, but it was that Is it Van Dykes? Van Dix?
It's Van Dykes. I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, it's the sort of like bar on the lake in Suriname.
Suriname, yeah. Yeah.
Flag is depicted on the top. That was the very first like picture, official, set picture, right? But since then, we've seen shots of them filming in the waterfalls in the jungles of Thailand, and there are ancient temple structures that were put up and very quickly dismantled. But there was what we can see. It kind of gives off like Trespasser vibes in a way. The video game,
yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
So, are we going into Isla Sorna? Probably not. But I don't know what does this tell us? Nothing really, but it's cool.
It was really interesting. Like, so I think the filming site with those, one of the folks who shared the pictures called them Aztec ruins, and I was like, it was interesting that they specifically, and maybe it was just they just used the word Aztec because they associated that word with ruins for some reason. But like, it'll be really interesting to see the justification for those ruins and what they're from. But like, the set where they had those ruins was Huaito Waterfall, I think, or something like that. But like, it had a set of stairs and then sort of a path leading through an archway, and it was all sort of ancient ruins. And they built that on top of what was already like a established like hiking trail. They like built it on the same path as like this trail. Is really, really cool. But yeah, I get Trespasser vibes, and this is something we've never had in a Jurassic movie before, so it's really cool.
Yeah, and it definitely is something that leads into the idea of Jurassic lore that we learned in Trespasser. So are we going to see Isla Sorna again? Was it Deadline that I'm trying to find it, I'm sorry, so that I can directly quote. Was it Deadline that unveiled the movie was filming? It was begun, and they gave us the thing about the 3 adults and the 3...
It was Variety, I think.
Oh, okay, hold on. Because I want to get the quote. They say something about...
Yeah, the quote was important because it talked about like the location and the story and character.
Yeah, so it says a completely fresh take, launching, which they've said before, right? That's just PR, but launching a new Jurassic era, which they've said before, that's following 3 adults and 3 teens getting stuck on the island. And island is capitalized for whatever reason. So, from that, I definitely initially read it as, we're going back to Nublar Orsona, the island.
Right? The
That's
island.
The Jurassic. Yeah. But, I guess we can say the rumors we're hearing is that it's not.
Yeah. The rumors are... there are a lot of them out there at the moment, but the rumors seem to lean towards a different island. and some other things. So David Kep, what do you have up your sleeve, sir?
What you doing, boy? Yeah, I'm really curious what it means. The Aztec ruins or whatever ruins they are, whatever previous civilization. I think there is. I think it really does. Sort of like common sense would say that okay, we are going back, and it's just that, as we said, all the rumors, stuff that we keep hearing behind the scenes says this is post Dominion, and that it's a completely different island, uh, a new island. So I don't know. It would make more sense to me if this movie was taking us back in time, and then we were going back to an abandoned sauna or an abandoned Jurassic Park for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mhm.
with how much, I just feel like with how much money and how much advertising, how much Universal have spent establishing the world era, that and with Dominion, they are not going to want to let that go. I feel like that's just strong enough evidence that it's post Dominion, whatever the story's going to be. But I could be wrong, but
Yeah, I've with how Dominion went as far as rollout and critical response and all that stuff, like we've been hearing people say like vaguely that they sort of want to get away with that, get away from that, do a fresh take, and all these reports of a fresh take and a bold new direction and a new Jurassic era sort of support that. But like you're right. I don't know if they're completely just going to go away from. I don't know if they're going to go backwards from where they've taken us so far, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I've also heard it called a soft reboot, which I don't know if that's gonna be true or not, but people like to throw around the word reboot all the time, so
Jurassic World was a soft reboot, so
yeah. Just
I
keep
mean,
soft rebooting it, guys. It's
yeah,
fine.
basically. Um, I'm just real quickly, like I think one of the things I'm most excited about is the cast of
Mm-hmm.
this movie. Um, ScarJo, and I like that's just I never say Scarlett Johansson for some reason. I just say ScarJo.
She's
Um,
just our ScarJo to us. We're besties.
yeah, she's fantastic. Like on her own, but like to have her in a Jurassic movie is going to be very cool. And she apparently posted a photo from set on her like secret Instagram account. And if you didn't see it, it was like a tree with a raptor smoking a cigarette, a la Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park, and it said no smoking, and that was apparently on the set of Jurassic World 4. So, and also like Manuel Garcia Rulfo, Mahershala Ali. Um, I'm blanking. Who else?
Jonathan
Luna
Bailey,
Blaze,
Yes,
yeah,
Jonathan Bailey. How could I forget him?
hottie
Um,
hottie Bridgerton man.
yeah, buff action star, Jonathan Bailey. No, so like, I guess what I'm getting at is like the and Rupert Friend, like the leads
Mm-hmm.
we've got going here are like super strong. I think like really solid
So good.
actors. Yeah, and so that just builds on top of the excitement of these set photos. But like, how are y'all feeling about ScarJo and the cast?
I'm super excited. I mean, I think you all know that I was already a Scarlett Johansson fan, so
Our resident ScarJo,
right.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and I saw some people because obviously the what is it, ScarJo fanatics or something, keeping up with Scarlett on
that's it.
Twitter.
Yeah,
Um, they've kind of been getting news out there as well. Um, but they've been posting some stuff and it's been really fun to see it from that side and people saying just they're excited for Scarlett and that she finally has some sort of franchise to lead
Mhm,
after
yeah.
everything that happened with Black Widow.
mhm.
So we're
So much
excited from.
passion behind that fandom, it seems.
Hmm. Yeah, and so I'm excited for that. I think there's potential to bring in new people with her being the lead.
Mhm.
Caleb, you put together that cast image of all of
Yeah.
the leads together, and I think it really shows. It's a good-looking cast. Like it looks like a Jurassic cast,
Mm-hmm.
and I was worried. I think I voiced this on previous podcasts about when they first cast Scarlett Johansson, and then there were rumors about some of the other big names that potentially were being involved. I said I wanted names that I'd never heard of, and it's great that even though I'm now fully on board with Scarlett Johansson, um, all of the other names I'd never heard of. And it's great because they're all such talented actors from what I can tell from the ones I haven't seen. But I've actually seen a lot of them in stuff. And Jonathan Bailey, the more I see his face, the more I start recognizing things I've seen him in.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to
Mhm.
be. I think it's some of them are such fresh talent as well. Luna Blaze, isn't this her first like proper feature film? Or
Yeah,
I think
basically,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
I
And
just think
she's got a lot of. She was on a show called Manifest, which has a big
Yeah.
like cult following.
Mhm.
And it's like a sci-fi show, and so all of those fans are probably going to be drawn to this because of her, and
Mm-hmm.
so I've got that image in front of me. So it's Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Manuel Garcia Rufo, Mahershala Ali, Rupert Friend, Luna Blaze, David Iacono, and Audrina Miranda.
Yeah,
So like
Tim
you
and
said though, like
novel Tim
visually,
effects.
yeah. I mean, Jurassic always has to have kids, and that's a good thing. But no, like you were saying, though, like this is just a great looking cast, really solid.
Mhm.
So
And Manuel as well. Out of all of them, Manuel looks like the most Jurassic Park esque character. I think. Just I don't know if it's just me, but like yeah, look at that Jurassic Park actor right there. Um,
He's
yeah,
ready to
no,
go.
yeah, he's ready to go.
Born for the
No,
role.
that's it.
he
I
came.
know. I'm so in. I'm really excited to see what Gareth can do with them as well because he Gareth isn't everybody's favorite director, but he knows what he's doing with his actors. In my opinion, I really I really like his movies and I really like what he does. So I'm keen to see what he's doing here. Um, we we know we can kind of assume who's who, right? So we have a synopsis. We have a very basic synopsis, but following three adults and three teens getting stuck on the island. So the three teens, I'm assuming, actually, three teens, maybe. Um, Help me out here, guys.
No, you're good. I think the three like younger roles. I think one of the three is like younger or older than the other two. I
You
think.
think
Mm-hmm.
Luna maybe? If
Yeah, I think one of the other like rumors or synopses that was released had described like three kids, but like one or two of them are older than the other ones or something like that.
Yeah, it was
older
like,
sister, older boyfriend.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
so
younger
Yeah,
kid.
so perhaps like Luna Blaze, David Iacono, and Audrina Miranda, like those are the three sort of younger roles. Um,
yeah,
and then as far as the like maybe the three main adults are ScarJo, Jonathan Bailey, and Manuel Garcia Rufo. And like Mahershala Ali perhaps is one of those three main adults as well. But like
Mm-hmm.
Mahershala Ali and Rupert Friend to me feel like maybe they're like other unique characters who have a different purpose in the story. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
whether
Ru-
that's
Rupert Friend is definitely giving off uh like Dodgson
like
vibes.
Jurassic British villain vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
um, I mean, we could be totally wrong. He could be the loving Kirby-esque father, but
He does have a
yeah,
history of playing the bad guy, though, so
he
it kind of
does.
fit.
Yeah, he's unrecognizable in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like
Yeah.
he's Grand Inquisitor in Star Wars, this like very aggressive, malicious villain, I would say. So it's really interesting that he's. I mean, we'll get to see him with his normal face, but yeah.
I think Mahershala Ali has. I mean, the last thing I saw him in was Leave the World Behind, but
Mm.
Mm,
he, which show. I mean, that's a great movie for showing what he can do in terms of like his acting chops. You know, people say that, but seriously, like it really
yeah.
demonstrates his because you're trying to figure out if he's a bad guy or not, kind of in that movie,
Mm.
as well as this everything else that's going on. Green Book, he was great in that. Blade, obviously, that's hilarious. What's going on with that? Um, True Detective. Was he in True Detective?
Was he?
Well, and so it's kind of the Mahershala Ali angle is also interesting because he's supposed to be Blade in the Marvel
Yeah.
Cinematic Universe,
Yeah.
but that movie is like going through every bit of development hell possible. And so it's opened up his schedule, his availability to be in Jurassic. So
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
to think that ScarJo was like, man, I get it. Like, I get the Marvel nonsense. Come on, come over to Jurassic.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't wait
people
for that.
were some of the ScarJo fans, like on Twitter and stuff, were talking about how Marshall Ali and ScarJo were going to be talking about Marvel drama on the set of Jurassic World.
Oh, I
So
100% believe it.
yeah, so um, yeah, I'm trying. Leave the World Behind was great, and Mahershala Ali plays this like very sort of reserved, very professional guy, and you can't really tell what his motivations are. And he's great. He's great in everything I've seen him in. So I'm really excited for him to be a Jurassic character. So
Sorry, yeah, Mahershala Ali was in season 3 of True Detective.
yeah,
I never saw that. I didn't catch that, but heard it was good. Yeah, no, the cast is just they're all just it's exactly kind of what I wanted. I think just names
Hmm.
that have demonstrated that they have the chops, but
Yeah.
aren't huge A-listers. This is their chance to be in something, and I think out of everyone, obviously I don't view Jurassic movies in like, well, I want to know that everyone can die, but you don't want huge stars knowing that they're not going to give them the chance to have a dinosaur-based death on screen, right? I
Hmm.
think we can look at this cast and think, yeah, everyone has a chance of dying in the next movie, which is gonna it puts the stakes up, and I think that's important, especially after the last three. So yeah, it's great. I
yeah,
think
and no, go ahead.
no, sorry, you go ahead, man.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, as far as like the story goes and who's gonna live and who's gonna die, like, um, I say this on every podcast, I feel like, but like I love David Kep. I'm so excited for whatever story he came up with. And ScarJo, in an interview a week or two ago, was like directly name dropped David Kep. She was like, David Kep has written this great script, and he's come back after 30 years. He's returned after 30 years after writing the first two to write another one. And um, I don't know. It made me really happy that she knew all of that, like was able to
Yeah.
say all of that kind of information. Yeah.
She seemed so genuinely excited in that interview.
Yeah.
It was great to see.
Definitely, I tried to differentiate normal PR, fluff from genuine reaction, and she does seem genuinely excited by it. And I think her mentioning Cap and everything, yeah, we've had that a while now, but that is the evidence that they're trying to make it feel more like the first one.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think the way she talks about it as well, the way she says how much she loves the first one, the first movie, it's kind of clear that they're trying to get that back,
Hmm.
Hmm.
which is enough of a reason to be excited.
Yeah.
There was a handful of there's a couple of accounts that are popping up, and they're sharing footage from Thailand. I mean, you're not going to get too many spoilers from this, and these people are never going to be able to take pictures close enough to the actual stars. So I doubt we're ever going to see too much like close stuff of Scarlett Johansson filming. But there was a clip posted a few hours ago which shows a walkthrough of the waterfall set, and you can see there's loads of tents set up. There's a crane set up for what I assume is lights or camera work. Uh, the guy just like kind of walking straight through the set, but you can see the large HMI lights that they're blasting through the canopy there. And yeah, just kind of shows you it's a wet, deep jungle rainforest that we're in. And it looks a lot like Hawaii, Kauai, Jurassic Park, basically. It really is. So it could be anywhere in the world, but it really does. To me, it's like they're just going back to the first island. And then there's also the other pictures. There's the helicopter.
Yeah, crashed
So
helicopter.
crashed helicopter, and also looks to me like it's been crashed for a while. No, it doesn't look like a fresh crash, but then what we're actually seeing is it's on a rig, it's on an arm.
It had like it had like a bunch of growth all over it too, and a bunch of wear and rust. So
could be like
had
an
been there for a
older
while, maybe.
chopper that was in a tree or something. They climbed up to retrieve something. It came out. Whatever it is, it's like an army chopper, right? Would you call that an army helicopter?
Yeah, I
Generic.
mean, yeah, something like that, military something, yeah.
Generic military chopper. Very Gareth Edwards there, but it's on a rig. It's on like an arm, which clearly is just hydraulics there, right? Gonna be, it's a rig so there's gonna be like a helicopter crash, helicopter falling, something. It's gonna
Well,
be
isn't that
or
in that video,
like,
Instagram video, can't you see the helicopter on the side there hanging?
Oh, can you?
Uh-huh.
oh, I didn't even notice that either.
So I
Yeah,
wonder
it's
if the
like
helicopter falls into the waterfall or something.
it's
Oh, is that what's up on the crane then?
yeah, it's a little after that crane shot. You can see
Oh,
it's the same rigging that we see at the back of that helicopter, so it looks like it's hanging down in the trees there.
I just, as in the start of the video as well, you can see film canisters for the film stop. They're shooting on
listen,
film.
yes,
You can see the
hell yeah, they're
underside
shooting on
there.
film.
There's the
Jurassic
chopper.
belongs on film.
Nice, very nice. Yes, it does belong on film, and I think it's so cool that Gareth Edwards is getting the chance to shoot on film because he's such a pro digital director, which is not an issue. But to have him now collaborating with a cinematographer who's so pro film and who shot Gladiator, Silence of the Lambs, come on, the two like best minds now collaborating and ending up shooting on 35 mil. Come on, Jurassic Park on film again. That's so good.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say with the helicopter, the Jurassic franchise loves its like vehicles hanging off of cliffs and hanging out of trees, and Jurassic loves that. So I like that excites me if we're gonna have like we climb up into a crashed helicopter, but then a dinosaur shows up and pushes it out of the tree or pushes it over a waterfall or something like that. That's gonna be fun.
Looks like they're right next to the river too, so there'll be some water. Maybe you can see the waterfall from the shot or something.
It does look like that. Like maybe the chopper falls into the stream that leads to a waterfall, and maybe they have to try and scramble
because they're doing stuff underneath
before they go over.
Yeah.
Come on, right? So obviously this is either the inciting incident or this is something that happens early on in the movie. A helicopter crash on the island. You can't get more Jurassic than that. And obviously we don't want them to repeat. Nobody wants just a basic rescue mission, but honestly, if it's done well, if it's a tight story, if the characters are fantastic and it tells a nice or good message, then I'm down for a rescue mission. Just do it right.
So the ancient ruins sort of set build that was close to there, they apparently like took that down fairly quickly. And part of that is maybe because, the parks department or the government or whatever didn't want them to like alter the natural setting, but also that just makes me wonder like how short the scene in that setting is. But
yeah, I know what you mean. I think that definitely is a good reason enough that they would want to be in and out. Probably just a passing through, navigating through the island or whatever it is. Do we want to go into any of the rumors about what the story is actually about, or do we want to hold off?
What do you guys think?
I'm fine with it. I mean, we already warned people, so if you don't want semi-potential spoilers, go
Yeah,
away.
Yeah.
semi-potential spoilers.
Get out of here. What are you doing here?
Jack, can you take us through those rumors?
Sure. I'm gonna pull up. All right. So there's been a few rumors that have come out recently saying that wherever we're going, wherever this new island is, the dinosaurs that are there are more evolved, more intelligent, more cunning in their behavior, and that the physical designs are therefore going to be different, as if the dinosaurs have almost acclimatized or you know changed, adapted to the environment they're in. Um,
Mhm.
it looks like we're in a rainforest jungle, so I don't know. The dinosaurs of Jurassic Park were pretty geared towards that. Um, at least they seem to survive okay in that. So I don't know what that means for this movie, but it definitely, and with the three adults and the three kids and the David Cap, uh, to me, I'm getting striking like resemblance to early Jurassic Park 4 scripts, or even not scripts, just ideas that they used to float around, and even rumors from back in the day about what Jurassic Park 4 was going to be. And they had before the idea of breeding dinosaur DNA with dogs and humans and creating these weird super soldier things, they did just have ideas about sort of more aggressive dinosaurs that have been modified slightly, scarier, more aggressive, that kind of thing. Um, Sort of like an evolution of the Jurassic Park dinosaurs. So
Yeah,
it
Mhm.
just sounds like we're going back to that, but that Gareth or whoever it is, whatever the story is, it's like these dinosaurs are more aggressive, these ones are more intelligent. There's going to be much more at play there. So maybe that video game, that the Trespasser 2 video game concept that depicted Billy Brennan with a pack of raptors, the kind of Owen story, maybe some of that sort of intelligence is going to be on display in this film.
yeah. The rumors were also saying just kind of like lots of design flourishes, possibly a la like King Kong or something. Some
Oh
of them were
Mhm.
yeah, that's right.
some were saying that, which is interesting. I mean,
Not paleo accurate, exaggerated features, more spikes, no feathers, similar to
yeah,
King Kong
and
2005.
I
Which,
like on its face, I don't know how true all of that necessarily is. I like, but like with David Kep and just with Jurassic in general, like the animals sort of evolving to survive in the climate if we're in a new
Mhm.
place or whatever like that does make sense. So yeah.
yeah, and something maybe maybe that's like what's driving this soft reboot idea, is that all the dinosaurs are going to be completely fresh designs. It's still going to
Mhm.
be a T-Rex, still going to be a raptor, but it's like, oh, this evolution of the T-Rex, not just the older one from the first film or something. um
She needs a
Right,
break.
and
she
these are
she does need a break. She saved the world enough.
Yeah. Go
yeah,
retire.
and uh maybe these are animals that nobody has seen before. Maybe they've
Mhm.
been on this, maybe they've been wherever the story is located for their entire existence. And so maybe
Yeah,
these
this
the
could be,
characters are
what
the
if this
first
is
people to see them.
a true lost world, like
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
not necessarily dinosaurs that were bred by a company. What if this is like there's this place where a real lost world existed? You know, I mean, I'm sure these are bred dinosaurs, but you know what I mean. Like King Kong. There was
Yeah.
these rumors floating around about King Kong say the tone of the movie, the story is similar to King Kong, the 2005 movie, which is a 3 hour, 3.5 hour something
Yeah.
incredible journey adventure movie. It feels like two movies in a
Hmm.
Mhm.
good way. Um, like that
Yeah.
whole build up towards heading to the island. If Jurassic feels like that, come on, man, that's gonna be great.
I was, don't ask me why, but I was watching a movie called Baby Secret of the Lost Legend
Oh yeah.
a couple weeks ago, which is
Davis is the answer to why.
yes, also true. No, there's this great YouTuber who made sort of a documentary video about like how dinosaurs are how Lost Worlds and how dinosaurs are portrayed in like across cinema. And like, so Baby Secret of the Lost Legend was one of the films he talked about. And if you don't know, it's about a sauropod, or a small group of sauropods that have survived basically since the extinction of the dinosaurs in this like lost jungle lagoon place in Africa. And they've been untouched by mankind until the events of the movie. And I did have that thought. I was like, what if like that is sort of the story of Jurassic World 4? It's like this some location that has been untouched by humans for thousands of years, and the dinosaurs haven't interacted with humans very much either, and that could be a really interesting story depending on where it goes. So,
be more.
I mean, it would be something fresh for the Jurassic franchise to have, like, oh my god, there's actually real dinosaurs in the world.
that would be,
real one.
yeah, that would be wild. That would be crazy.
And then it would make sense as to why, like, paleontologist Steve Brusatte is back to kind of bridge that line between, okay, what would happen if they evolved from 65 million years ago to the present day? Like, that's going to be a huge diverse change in what they would actually be looking like compared to what the ones at Jurassic Park looked like from being brought back, you know.
Yeah.
But who knows? This could be misinformation that's being misinterpreted as just,
the
original reptilian dinosaurs are back.
Yeah, all of this could be completely incorrect. The other rumor that folks said on Twitter that really intrigues me is like that a certain dinosaur with a fin is coming back. Hello, Bucky, Sam's puppy.
Oh. He's excited about
he's excited about
dinosaur.
Yeah, he's excited about Spinosaurus.
Yeah, who is it? Come on.
Spino's back.
Apparently. Yeah, apparently, like that's the rumor that people are sharing on Twitter at the moment, is that, in the words of Eric Kirby, the big one with the fin is coming back, possibly. So,
but then is it? It's not the Spino is back. Just the more modern day, accurate depiction of the Spinosaurus is going to be on the island,
right?
The river Spino or something.
Bucky is so excited about Spinosaurus.
I mean, he's my dog when he's excited about dinosaurs.
No, but yeah, I mean, it would make sense for it to be like a different Spinosaur. But what were you about to say, Sam?
Oh no, that's what I've been hearing about that too. It's the different look for the Spino. So we'll still have our OG Spino, but I'm excited for potentially the new design.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What else have we heard about this movie? I know that there was a picture, an official picture that Frank Marshall shared.
Oh yeah, Frank Marshall shared pictures. Yeah,
he's on the beach.
His beach tent, DIT studio, sat there.
Yeah, he said, first, what did he say? Another day, just another day at the office.
Mm-hmm.
Just another day at the office. Yeah.
And apparently, according to some of the things that Real News Hawaii was sharing, that was like a base camp, and to get to a certain filming location, they had to go take a boat through a cave or something, because there was a production transport vessel that they were carrying a bunch of stuff through a cave on the water to a different location. It sounded awesome. So
yeah, something like that, right?
Well, we saw Gareth's assistant Tara. She was posting all the stories where they were on a boat multiple days in a row going to work.
That's right.
So that would fit with that.
That's so cool.
About that previous video that we were talking about, the waterfall with the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on the Jurassic World Eternal Instagram account, which I don't know, by the time people listen to this, it might not be around, but there's more videos, and it definitely is the helicopter hung above the waterfall.
Oh, okay.
Hung above the river. So This is looking great, and the location, the tree roots look like Isla Nublar. You know, when Graham finds the eggs, it's the same kind
Eggs.
of eggs. It's the same kind of jungle. This is cool. I when are we gonna get the first real look at this film? That's what I want to
I
know.
I think, I mean, and we're getting close to it actually. Next week, July 2nd. At the time of this recording, next week is July 2nd. So
Right.
A year out, then.
I think that would make sense since they haven't shared anything yet, but we'll see. I don't know.
It'd
What do
be
y'all
nice to
think?
do like an official like character shot from set or something, and with ScarJo.
Or a title, a logo, something.
Yeah.
Jurassic World Trespasser.
Plot twist. It's just that.
I'm here for it. I'm down.
ScarJo has a broken arm through the rest of the movie.
There is there is these are beautiful locations.
Yeah, they are.
Really, it's going to be great.
Mhm.
I think that it's kind of everything in regards to leaks so far. There are obviously more we can't say, but I think another thing that makes me feel like they are going back to one of the original Jurassic Islands is that the movie was originally going to film in Hawaii.
Yeah.
That was the plan. So yeah, sure, that could be standing in for Caribbean. It could be standing in for, I don't know, somewhere else. At one point, Jurassic Park 3 and even The Lost World was contemplating filming in New Zealand for the very similar locations to Hawaii. So it could be anywhere, but just if they were originally going to film in Hawaii and they didn't for certain reasons, it makes me think maybe we really are going back to the Jurassic Islands. Maybe the Aztec ruins are part of Isla Sorna's legacy or even Isla Nublar's legacy. And we're going to see some of the original island in this film.
I think that would be fantastic. Like abandoned places in general are just so cool, and I think they're really popular. Like on social media and YouTube these days, like people exploring abandoned places. So maybe they're like trying to capitalize on that sort of the popularity of that kind of thing. But yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe it's abandoned or Jurassic Park, or maybe it's abandoned ancient ruins on Isla Sorna. That would be so awesome. But
That's the thing. The Aztec ruins that we see don't necessarily align with what we saw in Jurassic World of the island when they went exploring outside of the park.
mhm.
So maybe we're finally getting the Isla Sorna story, and maybe this is the way of bridging it. Is it's like the timeline doesn't really matter. We didn't see Sorna we haven't seen Sorna since 2001, so technically this movie could be set any time depending on what the story is globally, what's going on in the world. If this movie is more like King Kong 2005, then it's going to feel more a very isolated. The story is about the character. It's not about what's going on in the rest of the world. So I think it could be it really could be set at any time, and nothing that
Yeah,
we've seen from the set dates it yet that we've seen. The helicopter is just generic military helicopter. We haven't seen any on-screen vehicles yet, so we don't know kind of timeline. Costuming isn't going to give us much in regards to that. So until we see something, you don't
yeah.
know when it's going to be set.
Dep-
I still think it's post Dominion, but
yeah.
kind of hoping it's not.
Well, and like we've had two films in this franchise take place on Isla Sorna. We've had three technically take place fully or partially on Isla Nublar. It's like we need balance. Like Sorna is owed at least a third film, and if anybody is going to do it, it's David Koepp. So yeah,
Yes. Uh-huh. Um, Very curious when we will hear something new. I think you could be right. July 2nd, and a year off. They're definitely sticking to that release date, especially with Luna Blaze obviously posting that picture of all of the pictures.
hmm
They're gunning to that date. And there was also the rumors we heard about how they're utilizing, what do they call it? That virtual production spaces, virtual production. They used it on was it Mandalorian? or Boba
Yeah,
Fett.
they used
Oh
it on
yeah.
The Mandalorian. They've used it on a bunch of stuff. They used it on the Batman, the
That's
Pattinson
right.
Batman, and I am blanking as to what it's called.
Yes, but give us a brief, quick overview of what it actually is.
For sure. So I mean, it's a production space with an ultra high definition LED background, basically that you can put anything on. And the background is massive. It can be really big, but it can also be curved. It can be flat, and like the actual like floor or the ground of the production space can be rigged to where like actors or whoever is there can move within whatever space you're portraying, basically. And the Mandalorian used it to put characters on alien planets, obviously. The Batman used it for shots of like there was sort of I mean, not to go too far into a Batman movie on a Jurassic podcast, but like there was in that movie, there's a space that's like 40 floors up in a high rise that's under construction, and that they used that technology as the background for different scenes, but in the same location, so they could like create realistic like city buildings in the background, but then it could be any time of day. The weather could be anything they wanted it to. The lighting could be almost anything they wanted it to. And yeah, apparently they're going to use this technology a lot on Jurassic World 4. So
Yeah, that's what the rumors are saying, and that the Sky Studios Elstree shoot is exclusively virtual production spaces.
yeah,
Um, I'm sure that they've built certain sets. There's also the largest chunk of filming takes place at the Malta Film Studios after they're finished in Thailand, and that is all water-based filming. So
Mm.
yeah.
that a lot of King Kong. There's a more than half an hour, I guess, a build up like on the boat leading up to it. And just we know that real water filming does take a long time to get right. It's a
Mm-hmm.
bigger setup, lots more safety precautions.
Hmm.
Could be that it's the transit on boat or something to the island that goes wrong. Maybe a marine reptile, maybe a Spinosaurus gets it. But the long filming schedule at Malta does indicate that there's like a huge underwater scene or a large scene at sea. Or
Yeah.
maybe it's all interplaying with the river sequence. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they're utilizing maybe there's going to be like huge props and sets in those tanks that make it the river on the island or something.
Well, that's what I was
Who
going to
knows?
say earlier when we were talking about the set photos and the rain and the river or the waterfall. Like it makes sense with all of the water that seems to be around the locations and involved here. Like those water shoots and filming dates in Malta like make complete sense now. So because at
Mm-hmm.
first when people started talking about, oh, we're doing a lot of water filming in Malta, like weren't sure what maybe that would be. But what were you going to say, Sam?
No, I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. um Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say next, but
I don't know, but
July 2nd.
yeah, I'm trying to look at more of these pictures and figure out if this is actually supposed to be Aztec, because there's uh more pictures from the Jurassic World Eternal, and they have a jaguar head as part of the ruins.
Okay, okay.
Um, so we may be able to figure out based on that what exactly it is.
Well, if there was other, terrestrial wildlife that humans are used to on this island, it might be having a hard time surviving. But
Yeah, probably not around anymore.
um,
Interesting. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. That jaguar head.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Like leading up to a temple or something.
hmm, maybe, maybe there was a ancient, maybe there was a group of humans long ago who like worshipped these dinosaurs or something.
Maybe protected the island in a similar way to
Yeah,
the people of Skull Island.
exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
Very curious. I hope they give us more of a plot synopsis soon, but I don't want to be I don't want the trailers to spoil anything. I really do hope they're able to keep this movie under wraps as much as they can, as as we discussed with these set pictures.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think these set photos and the things we're talking about maybe only describe a couple of sequences, maybe even just one sequence.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
And also, I mean, that's the thing. We know that if the description from Variety or Deadline, says the island, we know we're going to an island. Um, there has to be a way of getting there. Helicopter, fine. I just think everything we're seeing so far is just striking me as quite Jurassic. It's feeling pretty good, feeling on brand.
Mhm.
So I'm excited. I wasn't as excited as I was initially, but I think at this point I just want to see some evidence that what this movie is going to look like, what it's going to feel like. I hope it's got a much darker tone. Gareth's movies, they're not dark, but they're not light-hearted in any sense, I would say. And I would, comparing like the tone of 2014 Godzilla to the tone of 2015's Jurassic World, I'm obviously hoping we now go much more in towards the Godzilla tone, which was a darker, kind of more, it wasn't more grounded, but it was a much more darker movie, I would say.
Compared to the rest of the MonsterVerse, it's quite grounded.
Yeah, yeah. I meant it handles its grounding quite well compared to Jurassic World. It feels as grounded as that, I would say, but it's definitely like a completely different film. It builds up in a way that I would have wanted Jurassic World to. The opening really does just feel like a Jurassic movie, to be honest. The helicopter, the big like discovery.
I
It feels
hope
very Jurassic.
I hope we get the Gareth Edwards helicopter shot, because like in Godzilla, and if anyone listening hasn't watched Gareth Edwards Godzilla, go watch it. It's very good. There are so many elements that feel very Jurassic, but there's a helicopter shot, or more than one, that just feels straight out of Jurassic Park. And we know Gareth Edwards is a huge fan, so I'm looking forward to like how he personally references Jurassic in a Jurassic movie that he's making, because that's going to be cool.
Yeah, he's finally getting his shot,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to see what he does. Should we briefly talk about survival?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
We're going back to the island. We're going 1993. Unfortunately, it didn't debut at the Summer Game. I lose track of these award shows.
Summer Game Fest. Yeah.
Summer Game Fest. Okay, but it didn't debut, even though the Xbox social guy tweeted the footprint, the water ripple, which made everybody, there's going to be something Jurassic at the event, and then there just was nothing Jurassic.
That's tweeting a GIF of the cup and the water ripples from Jurassic Park is like a dog whistle for Jurassic fans.
It absolutely is. And the way it was like all the reply, he was like, if you know, or something. It's like, so you're hinting that something's happening, but I got the impression, I guess, like behind the scenes, they all saw something maybe. But anyway, what an idiot for being a social marketing manager, whatever he was, posting that. There was nothing at the event about the game, but then a few days later, IGN got an exclusive look, which was definitely a response to the fan reaction, the fan confusion, I would say, about there not being anything. But they revealed that the game will not be released in 2024, which I think at this point we were all kind of thinking, yeah, it seems likely. There's going to be new locations that weren't seen in the movie, which is great, obviously. There was a piece of concept art which backs that up. Maya Joshi won't be the only character in this game. There is a chance that non-movie dinosaurs will feature, so I guess dinosaurs from InGen's list from the Jurassic Park Dinosaur Manifest. And that Jurassic Park, they were sort of going on about how Jurassic Park is Universal's most requested game, which is like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I was going to
But
say, Jurassic fans have been scarred so many times by Jurassic games, like being announced and being canceled or whatever the circumstances end up being. So like we're all like very attentive to the process of this game now. So
we're actually all very scarred by Jurassic Park Survival, because that literally has come and gone in the past. That was meant to be a game. I remember that. I remember that. I have that memory still of being however old I was when I was told that it was cancelled. I still remember. They're never going to cancel this one, although I don't want to say it. Actually, I don't want to jinx
Knock on wood.
Knock.
But it looks good. And in this IGN unveiling, they unveiled 2 pieces of concept art and then 3 in-game screenshots, alpha in-game screenshots. The in-game screenshots show 3 raptors on the island at night. No complaints. I don't know. Anyone got any complaints? It looks great.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, it does.
T-Rex is the next show. I think, Caleb, you said this is
that's my favorite one. This T-Rex like in the background stalking, and it's like it's from the perspective of someone who seems to be like hiding behind a log or something. So it's just so great.
Like, yeah, POV Maya like shit.
Yeah.
That's a really great shot. And then the other one is the Mr. DNA Theater. And I don't know, for some reason, like, it's not my favorite. It's just like this one out of all of them gave me the most, like, oh my god, we're going to be able to walk through these locations again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to do the entire time I play the game. Is I'm just going to go sit and watch the Mr. DNA short film.
Yeah, literally. I hope we have. That's why I hope this game is full open world, because there's so many people like me that just want to just literally exist on the island during that time frame, and I think giving people the ability to just walk through the visitor center and see what it was like for as long as they want, I think it's a must. There was the 2 pieces of concept art then. So there was the other one which showed the Fallen Kingdom building, which is a great. I think I said in the video on the Outpost channel, this is a great way to blend the 2 franchises without it's just a building. It's just a building, but it's we didn't see this building in any of the original movies. This is purely Fallen Kingdom, but it's quite obviously a building from the original Jurassic Park era. So we're going to see it in its original form on the island. And I'm hoping I don't get this wrong, but the screenshot was actually labeled as like Maya's Jeep or something like that. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. So I think it's meant to be Maya's Jeep parked outside. I think obviously it's just a concept art, but imagine you're on the island at night and she's trying to drive to all these different locations to try and see signs of life, signs of communication. I think kind of gives us an indication on what we're going to be doing, maybe.
Yeah, and there was another piece of concept art with her flying down the river, being pursued by raptors. She's in a little boat. So.
Oh yeah.
That one's also very cool. I hope that concept makes it into the game, but it's very like Jurassic Park novel-esque. So that's
it. The river was something that was originally planned for the first movie as well. I believe cut due to budgetary constraints and things like that. But the original novel featured a scene with Dr. Grant, Tim, and Lex navigating a river while being pursued by the T-Rex. I think they originally don't they float past the sleeping T-Rex and then it wakes up and starts pursuing them or something like that. But I could be wrong. But either way, like the concept made it into some of the screenplays for Jurassic Park, and then they ultimately decided not to film or utilize that sequence. But amazing that this game is going to give us that option. It's going to show us that side of the park. It's going to, I guess, show us part of the island that was still in development. This is just exciting, man. I'm very, very excited for this game. I can't wait to see what they do. The other thing is that a trailer for A Quiet Place came out. Their other game. But Saber didn't develop this one. They just are publishing it. But I think it gives us the engine that they've developed it on looks strikingly similar to the in-game screenshots that we saw and the footage that we've seen from Jurassic Park Survival. I have a sense that Saber are closely watching and closely involved with the development of Quiet Place. I'm assuming a lot of the elements are going to be kind of ported over to Jurassic Park Survival.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems, I don't know if you saw that trailer, but it's like it's what they describe Maya will be doing. Very first person survival, hiding from monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
Yeah,
we were talking about this earlier. I mean, A Quiet Place has a movie coming out this summer, and then they're going to have a game later this year, and like maybe that's how Jurassic's going to go. We're going to have a movie next summer, and then we have a game a few months later. So
yes,
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so the game, ties in. They confirmed that Quiet Place comes out this year. The game comes out this year. And Jurassic Park is confirmed to not come out this year. So, yeah, it could be very well. I think 2025, I think maybe late 2025 is a great time for Jurassic Park Survival.
Mm-hmm.
The movie comes out in the summer. And if the movie goes to Isla Nublar and we see the original ruins on there or Sauna or something, perhaps the game really is going to tie in. You assumed that this would happen, Caleb, about the game is going to tie in somehow to the movie.
It's just like it's such a crazy time to be a Jurassic fan right now because we just had a new animated show. We got a movie coming out next summer that's like new rumors about it every day, and then like also we're finally getting like a survival path video game on Nublar. Like all of these things are happening at the same time, and so like somebody somewhere has to have a plan about how, why all of this is happening at the same time, and maybe none of it is connected. Maybe we're just capitalizing on Jurassic hype, but like I don't know. They're all. I mean, I suppose they're all technically connected somehow. They're all in the same story, but yeah.
Look, I mean, we got some Dino Tracker in the new Chaos Theory stuff, so
Yeah, and that's another reason you should watch it, Sam.
I know. I've seen the screenshots, and I'm like, oh, my baby, it's alive. So who
Yeah,
knows? There might be somebody there that's like, hey, we have all this stuff. Let's connect it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing with the way franchise building works nowadays, and the way the way that Universal are so keen to continue it. And I think we've heard that Spielberg didn't want it to go the way of Transformers, and then obviously Universal's other main franchise, which is starting to see a decline in, I guess, profits, is the Fast and Furious franchise. I guess in a way they're keen to not let it go down that route. And we're seeing that with the talent involved. I think seeing Gareth Edwards, that totally changed things for me. As much as this movie is supposed to be or what we were hearing and the rumors around David Leitch and stuff with it, it's like director for hire, they just want to rush one out. But I think I don't think that's true. I think they've cracked something that they probably wish they'd cracked earlier. And maybe we're finally going to get the Jurassic Park 4 that many of us think we haven't had yet.
Yeah, I mean, and it's in the form of Jurassic World 4, which is which is crazy, which is just crazy to think about. Like being a fan between 2001 and 2015, it was like chaos at times, and wondering what was going on, and are we ever going to get anything else Jurassic ever? And now we're about to get a fourth Jurassic World movie, which is crazy. I think it's funny that like a lot of the discourse during some of the Jurassic World trilogy and like just in general was like we want to get away from the island. The island's been done 100 times, and like that's seemingly that's the plot we actually keep coming back to. But I think we're gonna do it in a new, fresh, interesting way, and like you said, the talent involved is gonna make it something special, I think. So
I really do hope so. And the cinematographer as well gives me a sense that they're wanting something to feel not classic, but big and like cinema. You know, they want something to feel. I don't know. I'm getting a good sense again about it when I think about those elements. I think about the locations they're choosing, and then the stuff that we're seeing in the very early set pictures are making me think, yeah, okay, this one's looking like a Gareth Edwards film in a good
Yeah.
way.
Uh, I watched Logan the other day, and John Mathieson, who is going to be the cinematographer on Jurassic World 4, shot that movie. And Logan is a beautiful, gritty, like, I don't know, it's a very violent movie. And so I don't know, some of the violence in that movie, for lack of a better way to say it, and just the locations, the way they're shot in that movie, like, they're very, very good and they look fantastic. And so I'm actually excited for what he's going to do on Jurassic. But
Did you watch Logan in color, or
it
did
was
you
it
watch
was in
Logan?
color, yeah.
You should next time you watch Logan, you should watch Logan Noir.
I've seen
It's
Logan Noir. It's fantastic.
oh, okay, good, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just that demonstrates even better like how great a cinematographer is. That movie, it's just like it was meant to be seen in black and white.
On just like thinking about it right now, just how visceral, like, I mean, it's Wolverine slicing people, like, and
Yeah.
that could translate to velociraptors or something pretty well, probably. So
Yeah.
Look at Gladiator, look at Silence of the Lambs. I know the cinematographer doesn't choose the story, obviously, but the way that he shoots those films and those kind of horrific sometimes sequences, yeah, I'm in for that gritty realness. I'm in for what I hope is something that feels like the film is part of it. You know, it's like almost like a character in itself. Not the film. I mean, the film stock, the way it looks. I want that to be part of it. Like, be so unique in its look and feel.
mhm.
I wonder how run and gun and on the ground it can be with Gareth. Like, we know that he likes to get on the ground. He has the camera on his shoulder. He's very spin the camera around, shoot the other way. I wonder how that's going to work with film, and like the kind of different workflow. But
Mhm.
very keen to see how that plays out. Very keen. Can't wait for the first piece of footage. Hope they tease this movie right. Hope we get some like deep jungle, violent, scary stuff, and like a little teaser and yeah, shot of, I don't know, one of the kids in the jungle or something. It's gonna be good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think, I mean, this is the last thing I'll say, and it's a personal thing, but like, I am more anxious every day to know who is going to be the composer on this movie.
Mm.
Um,
Ooh.
and there's a video on the Outpost channel about my ideas of maybe who that should be. But like, I don't know, it's Jurassic June. I've been listening to a bunch of Jurassic scores, and I'm like, who's gonna do the next one? How are they gonna approach it? Like, it's a really important thing. So I will be very interested to see who it is. But yeah,
Part of me wonders if they're gonna bring John Williams back.
I mean, I'm all for it. What were you gonna
Why
It
say,
feels
not?
like
Sid?
Why
Yeah.
not?
they've
Um,
always, this one seems to be the one. Maybe they are gonna bring him back one last time. They'll say for a
and
final Jurassic.
yeah, and like I mean, the other option is like maybe we bring him back to write a new theme or like a new
Mm.
piece of music, and then he like sort of collaborates with whoever the new composer is. Like, he's done that sort of thing lately too. So I mean, and that would be that that obviously didn't happen on any of the Jurassic World movies. So like, that would be really cool, I think. So
Mhm. Absolutely.
yeah,
We shall see. We shall see.
we shall see. Well,
We're literally almost less than a year's time until we will know, and time is running a lot faster than it used to. So
mhm.
we're gonna be there in no time.
Yeah, like next week will be a year out, and I mean, this time next year, we will be in a very, very different, very interesting place as far as this movie goes. We'll be about to see it probably. So
Yeah,
So
we'll know
exciting.
what the reptilian monster dinosaurs are going to look like.
yeah,
We'll know what time period it's set in, what costumes show them in 1600s gear.
1600s. Oh wow.
Can you imagine?
Are we doing like
It's a
Sir
time travel
Arthur Conan
movie.
Doyle, Lost World plot twist?
Yeah, that's it. I'm in.
I mean, the world needs a good adaptation of that. So, because none of them are all that good, but yeah,
They've all been
Yeah.
iffy, yeah.
yeah,
They all have positives and a lot of negatives.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
fun depictions.
yeah.
But yeah, very keen for this. I'm wondering. Gareth doesn't really have social media, does he? So I'm keen to see where the first post comes from, who it comes from. Probably just going to be the official world page, I guess.
Probably.
Will we see a rebranding? That'll be an interesting thing. If the movie's going to be called Jurassic something else, will the social channels follow that, or will the brand remain Jurassic World? Most likely.
Well, and maybe this is the last rumor we'll say on this podcast, but there were rumors on Twitter that it might be called Jurassic Instinct. But I don't know about that. So
Basic Instinct.
yeah, which was my first thought when I heard that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool, but I don't know. It would be. I mean, Trespass would be a cool name, Trespasser.
Yeah.
But
Jurassic.
also there's
Yeah.
a lot of movies called that, just generic kind of title. It's like,
Yeah. Well, and
know.
are
We'll see.
we if we're rebranding, are we building a whole trilogy off of this name, and what would make sense there? But yeah.
That's the thing. I really hope that this one is not being planned as a trilogy. I hope just for whatever reason they're just like, no, we just wrote one great movie and we'll see what happens. You know, like I hope that they're gunning at it like that. I hope Universal have taken a chance and been like, we don't need to trilogy everything. We don't need to franchise everything with guarantees that there's going to be 100 new movies. Like, just do one great one and we'll see where it goes. I kind of hope that that's the angle that they've gone with it. Or else the whole movie's going to feel like, guess what? Guess what's coming?
Yeah.
No, I kind of want it to happen organically. Like maybe this movie opens up some threads that can be picked up later, but it's not like overtly like this is the first of 3 movies. Get ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hope it doesn't end with like, what are we gonna do now? Like, what's coming next?
cliffhangers and
Zora
credit scenes.
Yeah, exactly. Just give me birds flying away.
Yeah.
That's the ending, and then I'll be happy.
Zora will return after the credits.
Yeah, the post-credit scenes, just like
Yeah.
just shot like a model.
Yeah. No. Speaking of credits, perhaps that's a good place to wrap up this episode. We've been talking for a little bit.
Roll the credits. Roll them up.
Roll the credits. Now, before we get out of here, any final Jurassic thoughts from the two of you about Jurassic World 4 or Jurassic World Survival, or just your excitement in general?
I'm just excited, and I'm mostly excited to see those first kind of on-set pics of our cast and what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Agreed. My excitement at the moment is full on Jurassic Park Survival. The more we learn about that game, the more I'm just feeling all of the desires I've had ever since I was a kid to play in Jurassic Park. So I can't wait for that. And I really hope they are doing the whole thing justice. The movie, I lost my excitement for, but the more we talked about it today, I'm very excited to see the next Jurassic. I think I'm just so excited. Worried. Yeah. I need it to be forced out. No, I think just after, the last 3, they were great, but they weren't for me. I think I'm just a bit worried about what's coming next. I hope that it feels more like the first, but I think it will.
David.
I think all the things we've talked about today are like great reasons to be excited and make me really hopeful. David Koepp, the cast, all this stuff. So It's a really fun time to be a Jurassic fan. There's so much going on. Thank you for listening to episode 121 of the InGeneral podcast. Thanks for joining me, Sam and Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you for the chat.
And we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Farewell.
Bye.
And here's cheers to David Kep.
Yes. Cheers to David Kep.
To the Kep.